In this video, I'm going to talk to you about engaging young learners in online sessions. I'm going to suggest 5 activities which young learners find a lot of fun and also will increase your young learners' involvement in your online sessions. All these activities are based on reading and are suitable for beginning readers. So let's see them. The first activity is disappearing words. In this activity, students have to identify the words before they disappear. They have to catch the words and then write. After correctly identifying the words, they will now have to write them in their notebooks. So let's see how this works. They see this word for a few seconds. They identified it as zebra, and then they write it in their notebooks. After they've written it, I show them the answer. And if they got it right, they give themselves a point. Much better. So that was the first one, disappearing words. The next one is a variation on this game, and it's called disappearing words scavenger hunt. This time, after identifying the words, they have to run and get the items described in the slides. Okay, so let's see, for example, so they see the word small and red. After identifying, they get up and run, get something that answers to that definition, and come back to show me. You can either this can either be a kind of a race, so that the first one to identify gets up and runs, or you can first of all make sure that all the students know what was written and what they need to get, and then have them get up and go get what they have to find that answers to this definition. Another option is to give them something very specific. Okay, small and red, they can come up with different options, different objects. But if I give them something like a blue sock, so that will be more specific. So you can like create a balance between the two options. So that was disappearing words scavenger hunt. A third activity that students will find engaging, though a bit more challenging, is Boggle. Okay, so this is a Boggle board I created for the beginning of a lesson, and they have to find words by connecting sequences of adjacent letters. Now, this should be scaffolded. So first, when you first introduce the game, show them first of all an example of a word that you found, and then give them the words that they have to find. Okay, so tell me you've got to find. After doing these two words, you can then move on to asking them orally. Okay, now I want you to find the word stand. And after they've done that, tell them, okay, let's see what other words you can find here. And that's really challenging for young learners, but when you practice it with them, they learn how to do it. So this was a third activity, third reading-based activity that students find engaging. Two activities, I utilize the chat. Okay, the chat, the Zoom chat or whatever platform you're using. And the first one is to get them talking. So what I do is I choose one of the students and I tell him, okay, Danielle, I'm going to send you in the chat a new identity. You're going to get a new name and a new location. And then your friends are going to have to find out who you are, what your new name is, and where you live. And they're going to have to ask you in English. You can do that also with other details. Another use for the chat is also something that gets them moving. Okay, so let's say, for example, you've had a lesson, a vocabulary lesson on actions or instructions, okay, and they've learned the terms like run and clap hands and jump and stand on one leg and hop and things like that. You can then, again, choose students and tell them you're going to get an instruction in the chat. You're going to have to carry out that instruction, okay, with the in front of the camera, and your friends are going to have to say what instruction you got. They'll have to say that in English. So if I send Danielle clap hands, he claps his hands, and then his friends say, okay, the instruction he got was clap hands. So these were 5 activities that young learners have a lot of fun with, and it increases their involvement and also improves their reading skills. So it was disappearing words scavenger hunt, Boggle, use a chat for a new identity, and use a chat for giving instructions. So I hope you found this useful, and I'm sure your students will have a lot of fun playing these games.